morning. It's April 5th, 2021. I'm Kimberly Jolly, and we are here today on our 8th annual charity event. So this is our event where we raise money for Make-A-Wish. So we have a link below, and right now we have raised $55,000. So I'm so honored to be a part of this and thankful to all of our customers. And I promised all of you guys a live tutorial. So we are on row 2. And this is our live tutorial, and I'll be back in 2 Mondays to do row 3. So this is our quilt kit. We have 14 left, and we have 34 backing sets left. So if you want to get those, I would get those today. They'll probably be gone after this. And I just have everything. I have starched everything and put everything in my box. I took all of my half-yard cuts and divided them into fat quarters so they're easier to work with. And I did leave a piece that's 76.5 by length of fabric unstarched. I'm going to starch that later, but it is for my borders. And I'm getting a lot of requests for showing that. And I am going to show it, but I'm going to show it when we get to the borders. I'm not going to cut it before then. So fabric requirements are available on our blog. Everything is free. We just ask for a donation to Make-A-Wish. So I'll set this aside since I've already got everything out I need for today. And just so you know, if you want to go back a couple of weeks, this is row 1. So on the row 1, I showed you how to make one block. And so this is how my row looks, and I love these fabrics. The fabric is Springbrook by Corey Yoder, and then this is Thatched from Robin Pickens. So I'm just going to keep my blocks, once they're in rows, in our little Serendipity charity bag. It'll keep it nice and flat. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're going to sew first. So again, this is our 8th annual charity, completely free pattern, and we will be making a lot of flying geese today. In fact, you're going to make 40. You're not going to use all of them, but you can make all of them and then just use those extras for something else. The way that we have written this is we have 5 different fabrics here that are the inside of the geese. And in the blocks, you're going to use each one once within the 5 sections. And we've already kind of written out so you don't have to think scrappy. If you look on the 3rd page, which all of this you can download from our site, we tell you exactly where to put each one so you don't have to worry about where everything is, because we've already figured out the scrappiness for you, kind of like a plan scrappy. And then down here you put your row together. So I'm going to show you, we're going to make just 2. So we're going to cut everything, and then I'm going to show you how to make 2 of these blocks, how we put them together. I'll probably do these 2 so that you can get this going at your house. So I'm going to put aside my background fabric first. We're going to be using this brand new It's So Emma 1.5 by 3 inch flying geese paper. The SKU number is ISE-775, and each of your papers make 2 flying geese. So since we're making 40 flying geese, you need 20 paper. So you'll use half of the pad. So if you look at our instructions, on the left side, we give you the traditional piecing instructions. And on the right side, we give you the foundation paper instructions. So if you don't prefer foundation paper, we've got the instructions right here for you. I'm going to cut for foundation paper. And since I have these ironed already, I'm going to start here. So I'm going to flip through and show you. I ironed all of my fabrics on top of each other. And all of these bottom pieces are big, and then I put the 2 pieces on the top that are small. And I'm going to go ahead and cut a 5-inch strip. And this doesn't have to be exact because we are using foundation paper. And you could always try, do one of your colors, one of your fabrics. You could always do one of your fabrics in the traditional method, one of your fabrics with the paper, and then decide which one you like best from that. So here I'm just gonna fold these back up and put them in my box for next time. From here we need to subcut 4 1/4 inch rectangles, 4 of those. And again, this doesn't have to be exact because this goes on your paper. So you just have to get in the, you know, in the general area. So if you save scraps, you can always use that. And then we only have a little bit wasted. So we will put this aside. This is our fabric D. So we've got our design board right here. And these are our fabric Ds. So today I'm going to show you how to make flying geese out of one of these. And then I'll do the rest of these at home. And then Friday I'll show you how it looks all together. Since this one's pretty easy. I'm going to pull out 5 pages since that's what we're using today. And then I'll pull the rest out when I get home. Now I'm going to cut my background. And this is the background I was using before, last month. So we're going to continue on this. And I'm going to iron this real quick. So your fabric A's are going to be your kind of your sashing. So I'm going to cut those. I'm going to cut 2 2-inch strips by width of fabric to subcut those. And I usually, if it's an It's So MR Fat Quarter Shot pattern, I usually I go in the order of the pattern. If it is a pattern by someone else, I will go in the biggest cut first down to the smaller cuts. So this is 2 inches. We need to subcut those into 8 inches. And oh my gosh, I put in a brand new rotary blade and it's amazing. It's like butter. It's cutting like butter. So I'm going to move my ruler here. So there's 4 and we need 7. So I'm just going to cut 8 and then we'll have 1 extra. And when I'm cutting, I do look at my line here and here. So these will be my fabric A's. I will leave 1 extra just to put it in my box so I have it. So I'll put that on my design board. For fabric B, we need 2 2-inch by 5-inch. So I can get that 2-inch by 5-inch from here, actually. And these are going to be too short, unfortunately. So I can save these though. So I was kind of hoping I would get that. I need 1 more of these, but for now I'm going to go ahead and cut the 43-inch squares. So I'm going to figure out how many strips I need to cut. So 120 divided by 40, we need to cut 3 strips. And so what I did is I took 40 times 3 is 120. 120 divided by 40, which is your approximately your width of fabric. So we need 3 strips. So I'm going to cut those 3. And these do not have to be exact because these are used on the paper. So you're going to see I'm going to stack some of this and it's not going to be exact. And the only reason I'm doing that is because I know that that piece is for foundation paper. Because one thing that I do is I do try to study the pattern before we start. And I'll put this aside. Now we need 43-inch squares. And I would never cut fabric like this if it needed to be exact. This is only because I would never move my fabric around that much. But since this doesn't have to be exact, this is what I'm doing. And it makes it easier to just cut it all at once. So let's see. And I'm just cutting at the 6-inch mark, then the 3-inch, but I'm doing it very loosely because it saves time. So we've got 8 in each. No, we've got 6 in each. So 40 divided by 6 is, we need about 7 of these, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll see if we get this one. So this one, we don't have enough because that's got way too much salvage on it. So we do need a little bit more. So I'll come back and cut that in a second. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 36 and we need 40. So we just need 4 more. So what I'll do here, we're going to cut these on the diagonal. And I know that because it's right here in the pattern. And again, I am doing the foundation paper piecing method. But if you would like to do the traditional, that is written in there also. So you can see sometimes when I guess on my math it works and sometimes it doesn't, but it gives me kind of a, you know, just a guess. So I'm just going to stack these. These are my C's. Put them on my design board. Now from here, I need 4 3-inch squares and I need a 2 by 5-inch rectangle. So I'm going to just use this ruler and cut my 2-inch by 5-inch first. So these are my B's. And I need to cut 4 3-inch squares for my last. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I will save this little piece though. I'm going to save that. I'll put that in my box. So at the end, if you run, you know, just a little bit short, you will have enough. We always include a lot in our kits and our fabric requirements are always generous. And the reason we do that is because I starch and I want all of you to be able to starch if you would like to. So I do that. Now this I probably won't save because it's less than 2 inches. And most of our pieces in this quilt are pretty big. They're about 2 inches, so I don't know that would, if we saved it, if we would be able to use it. Now again, this is that 3-inch square that doesn't have to be exact, so I'm cutting it kind of just however because I know that it's going to work. I would never cut fabric normally like this. So I put everything on a design board. I'm using a smaller design board today because my blocks are pretty small. If I'm making like a bigger block, I'll have a bigger design board, but I figured with flying geese, this would be easy. So let me know if there's any questions on any of the cutting. So all you have to do is download this pattern. Now this would make, if you don't want to make the full quilt, which is behind me, you could always do a table runner with these, and you could do a table runner with some of the geese this way, some of the geese this way, and you could do 3 rows and make a big farmhouse runner and put borders around it. We also have some free patterns that we're giving for meeting our goals. So I'm sure there's a pattern using this flying geese. And on Friday's live stream, I will show you different color options for Serendipity.
Let's see, we had a question from Libby Marchant. Do you starch your binding also?
Yes.
And from Patricia Hamilton about your first block and this block, did you iron open your seams or will you?
I am going to follow the pattern exactly like it's written. So this is not pressed open. This is not pressed open.
Okay.
So in all of our patterns, we always write a little arrow draw a little arrow, and these say press to one side. And so if you just go back to video 1, you can see how I pressed. I don't remember since it was 2 weeks ago, but I'm doing exactly what the pattern calls for.
All right. Lots of people are saying they love your blouse. Very cute blouse. You got on
Thank
today.
you. I was trying to match the quilt, actually.
It does. It looks good with the quilt.
Yeah, I think it's what I wear on the first one, but I'm not sure.
I don't remember. And then we had new YouTube member Dolores Johnson. Welcome, Dolores.
Thank you.
And then we had a super chat from Amy Johnson for $49.99. And Amy says, thank you. Love all things FQS. So excited to see the video live today.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Amy. I hope you are enjoying it.
And I'm going to be live 4 times this week. So on Friday, I'll be live on the quilting channel, and then Tuesday and Wednesday I'll be live on my cross stitch channel, which is called Back Quarter Shop Floss Tubes. So if you want to subscribe to that channel, you can see me that many times this week.
Woo! Yes, we will be here. And then new YouTube member Jody Murphy. Welcome, Jody.
Thank you.
And super chat from Libby Marchant for £4.99, or yeah, £4 99 British pound. Thank you for all you do at FQS. I am excitedly waiting for my fabric to arrive from you guys here in the UK so I can get started. And she put some emojis with hearts.
Thank you.
And then we had another super chat from Stephanie Smith for $19.99, and she put a pair that's sliding and saying goal.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. And thanks for joining us today.
Yes, and thank you so much for the donations. It's amazing. And we had a quilt. It ended this morning for charity. Let me see how much it sold for.
I believe it was $6,800.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. So it was at $6,300. So that will be in addition to all the money that we have raised, because that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and move on. Now in your pattern, if you do the traditional flying geese, you would follow this. And it says flying geese traditional method. And for the foundation paper, I'm going to show you how to do that. So this paper is a little bit wide, and the reason it's wide is because that's the kind of standard size it comes in. I'm going to just cut off some of the edges just to save time later and just for bulk. You don't have to do this. It just is something that is easier for me. Now here, I'm going to try to do this all 5, because I'm doing 5 for y'all today. Well, 10, but 5 pages. I'm going to put the creases in because I feel like that saves me time later. And if they're not exact, we'll fix them. So I kind of, when you're doing all 40, just go ahead and do a couple pages at one time. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put these right sides down. It's like we're playing blackjack, but we're not. And I'm going to put, oh my gosh, I'm going to put some glue on the back, just kind of in that center square. And I'm going to put,
Oh my gosh, your glue squiggles are identical.
they are, oh my gosh. I'm going to put one of each fabric. Now you're going to do this, you're going to do this 3, oops, that was funny. You're going to do this 3 more times with the remaining. But on camera, I'm just going to do these so that we can make a row. Now, I don't think I put enough glue, or I let it dry too fast. So what I will do here is turn, so I've got the paper on one side, right side up, and on the other side I've got my fabric. I didn't put enough glue today. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fold on each of the creases, and I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch away. Some people do it this way and some people don't cut until after they piece this part. This is just my preference. So I'm going to go around in all 4 of these. And by already having that crease kind of started, it helps it to just kind of automatically fold. Now this is optional. You could cut this after. I don't have as much light as I would like in my sewing room, so this helps me. Now, if you do this, you want to make sure it's glued down or pinned down so that it doesn't move. And you can tell that my glue today was not my glue did not work, so I'm gonna put more glue. I think I was talking too much.
I think it's also extra humid today, and that has something to do with stickiness.
It is like nasty today, but it's gonna be really pretty. It's gonna be like 80 or something.
Yeah.
Yesterday we did an Easter egg hunt. My kids are way too old for Easter egg hunt, but we did it anyway. We made them do it. And we literally had a swamp in our front yard.
Oh.
When I was hiding the Easter eggs, I was like, what is this? Got my shoes dirty.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, they wanted to do an Easter egg hunt. Emma wanted to do it, and then when they started, she said, they're way too competitive. I was like, because they're little and they care about it. And
Yeah.
you're 14. It's her birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, Emma.
Yeah, it's her birthday. And I have a funny story. So her best friend was over on Saturday, and I told her she was going to leave at 7. And I said, well, stay till 8 because, we were going to get that card, My Yard thing, where they come and put your happy birthday, in the front yard. Mm-hmm. And so the lady came, but I was trying to get Emma to go around the house and find it. So I told her to go in the backyard, and she thought I had bought her a dog.
Oh.
So then I was like, no, honey, there's no dog.
Oh.
But that's my fault for... So you could do all of these at one time.
And can you talk about the ruler you're using?
Oh, okay, yes. So this is the Add a Quarter ruler. Let's see, the company is CM Designs. It has a lip, so when you go like this, it stops. So I don't even have to think, I'm not even looking. It just stops where it needs to. So that saves me time. Now, if that's not in the budget for you, you can just use an existing ruler. It just takes a little bit longer because you have to actually look where you're cutting. So you don't have to have that. And they come in 2 colors. They come in pink and yellow, and they come in 6 inches wide and 12 inches wide. And for the smaller ones, I prefer the small. And of course, I always use pink because pink is my color.
Yeah. I think the pink one also has that kind of tapered edge on the other side, if you want to fold the paper, whereas the yellow one has more of a square edge.
Oh.
Yeah.
So now that I have these done, hopefully my glue will stay. Now these little edges, you can either keep them and you could sew them together. Here, I'll show you. You could, for example, if you wanted to really save your fabric, ignore that one because I did it wrong.
Oh.
I did the wrong fabrics together. Okay. Let's see. Now, I'm not going to save these, but if you want to, you could. And this is what you can do with them. Now, I just stitched it with about a 1/4 inch. You could stitch them together and then trim them down. Let's see what you would get. You could trim them down to about 1.5 inches, and then you would have some little half square triangles. So what I'm going to do now is you can pick any side, 2 opposing sides. It can be here, it can be here, doesn't matter. So what I will do is this does need to be in the center so try to center it, and the reason why is when you pull this over, you want it to cover the paper completely. So you just make sure it's going to cover almost, and then you turn it. I just hold it. Now you could glue it. I don't feel like you need to because you're about to stitch it. I'm going to turn it over, keep it in place, go to my machine. I'm going to turn my stitch length down to like a 1.5, and I'm going to start stitching before the diagonal, like off the paper, off that square, because I don't want my stitches to come out. And then I will go a little bit past, just a couple stitches past. Now you could go all the way out here if you wanted to. On the second, on the third and fourth, you have to go all the way across. So I'm just going to do that on all of these. And I love this paper. I'm so glad someone suggested it.
Yeah.
Because it's really nice and accurate and are there any questions?
Someone, I believe Libby, was asking if the glue washes off.
Yes. So the glue I'm using is fabric glue. It's meant for fabric, sorry. It's called Soline. It's just called a glue pen. There's a Soline glue pen and then there's a Sue Daily glue pen. They're made by the same people. It's the same exact product. And it'll wash away and so you could probably get all these flying geese done pretty quick. I mean, they're pretty easy. It's kind of therapeutic because you don't really have to think. You don't have to draw a line. You just have to sew on that line.
Question from Barb Sutterdahl, could you chain piece?
You could. I wouldn't because there's going to be so much weight behind it. And okay, so if you chain piece, you're going to have weight back here and all that paper and weight, and then you'd have to kind of sew to the end. So I would not chain piece. Because see here, you'd have to keep stitching and then add one, and the weight's just going to be too, I think, too much. But
and then can you tell us more about the paper? I think a few people in the comments are new to sewing on paper.
So we came out with the paper. I gotta find the pad of paper.
Yeah, you put it down there.
So we came out with this pad of paper. We actually have 4 sizes of flying geese, and it's foundation paper so that you sew on one side and you cut on the other, and the paper that we're using is similar to a typewriter paper, so it will pull off nicely. It's not thick. If you use paper like printer paper that you get at Office Depot, it's going to be too thick and your stitches are going to come out. So we had it special made, and we have 4 sizes. And if you're on Fat Quarter Shop, all you have to do is search It's So Emma foundation paper. And we have flying geese, we have triangles on a roll, and we also have square in a square paper. We also have log cabin, pineapple, sparkle star, economy, and courthouse steps blocks. So we're adding paper all the time. And each of the quilt blocks, like the courthouse steps, economy, log cabin, pineapple, sparkle star, those come in 2 sizes. The square in a square comes in 3 sizes. The flying geese comes in 4 sizes. And the triangles in a roll comes in 20 sizes. So from here, I'm going to turn my steam off, set my seam, just let it sit there, and then press to one side. Now with the paper, you cannot press open, it won't work. So if you're working with a pattern that has to be pressed open, it won't work. Or you can just press to one side, and on that last one you could press open. These next 2 you could. It's just kind of awkward. So just set your seam, press to one side, and I will do an all over steam press after the paper's off, When you're working with this paper, it will shrink if you put water on it. So I try not to use the steam because the paper's meant for it to be exact, and since you've already pre-shrunk your fabric by starching, if you starch, you don't want the paper to shrink because then that defeats the whole purpose of everything you just did.
And Libby Merchant is asking, is one pad enough for the entire quilt?
For this quilt, in the quilt kit, there's different pads of paper. So there's that. Let me show you. And it is listed on our blog. These are the pads of paper you will need. For the quilt that we're doing, the charity quilt. So we're going to be using this Flying Geese for row 2 and row 6. So row 6, we actually will just replay this video because it's the same.
Yeah.
This one is used, I'm not sure. Maybe that's not included. This is used in block, next block, and then this one is used in the last row. So I'm not sure about this one. This might not be included. This might be, I might have put that in there. Oh, it's used in next month.
Yes.
Sorry. These are used next month. So this is what, but also if you don't want to buy the paper, we write the traditional way also. And so from here, because I've already trimmed this, all I have to do is pull the papers. Well, it doesn't even really have to pull because I didn't go all the way across. Is just trim these off. So you can just use your fabric scissors to trim that off. And if you hadn't cut that, then you would just fold it back just like we did in the beginning. Like you could fold it back here and trim. But for me, scissors will work just fine. So yeah, the foundation paper is just something that we're doing because we really want to be accurate in piecing, and it helps with that. But of course, we always write our instructions where you can do it the traditional way also. So if you don't want to have to do it this way, you don't have to. So let's look, Lily, and see how much money we've raised. We started with $55,434 this morning before we started.
Let's see. $55,609.
Thank you. So we've raised $200. So thank you so much.
That's awesome. Confetti cannon for that. You can throw your little dog ears as a confetti.
Oh, my
I'm
little
joking.
dog ears. Yeah, I never knew why these were called dog ears, but they are.
I thought it's like dog ears are like triangular for most dogs.
I don't guess.
I don't know. If anyone has the answer to that in the comments, we would love to know.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to, we just need to keep adding. So, center that, you know, the best you can. Turn it over, and we're going to do the same thing, except this time we need to start all the way off and go all the way across. And I'm going to stitch it and then show you why. Okay, so you want to go off here, down here, because when you cut, you don't want your stitches to come out, so they're more secure. Up here, the reason why on your last one is you want this to go all the way across. If on your second, if you didn't, you would have some open seams here, and I just think that would be bad. So when you're doing that last seam, make sure to go all the way across. And that's how it's written. So if you follow, if you do the 2s first and the 3s second, it will already be like that. If not, you just imagine the line. So I did do all the 2s first, and then I'm going back to the 3s. But at home, I would just do whatever. I wouldn't pay attention to that because I would just remember that and go across on the second. And again, I'm using like a 1.5 stitch length, which is super tiny. It's hard to pull out if you have to, but the shorter the stitch length, the easier the paper is going to tear. And we are adding more flying geese sizes and more square and a square sizes.
Ooh.
And so by the end of the video, I will have 20% of my flying geese done, which is pretty quick. And I'll do the rest probably Thursday and then bring you the whole row Friday. And I'll also show you the color options that our employees are doing. On Friday. So all we have to do now is press. And then we'll trim.
Teresa was asking if we are adding other kinds of paper like hourglass.
We're not going to do hourglass because I don't think hourglass is needed. Hourglass would be 4 steps in paper, and you can always make your hourglass, cut them bigger and trim down, so I don't feel like we need hourglass. I feel like you don't really need it for that. If you just cut your pieces 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch bigger and then trim down, it's easier. Because if you do an hourglass, you're going to have 2 pieces here, 2 pieces here, connect them. It would waste way too much fabric. So that's one that we're not going to do.
And Crafting a Plan Life was asking how come we did not include triangles on a roll in the kit.
Because price. And a lot of people have already tried the triangles on a roll, and a lot of people already have them at home, and it just became cost prohibitive. So when a kit becomes too expensive, we know people won't buy it, so that's kind of why. And we just figured most people didn't have these papers, but most people do have the others. And with triangles, if you prefer that method, you probably already have the method you prefer at home. So on here, you want to cut on the solid lines, not the diagonal lines though. So what I like to do is cut all 4 sides first. So I'll do that. And you do want to cut as accurate as possible. So you can see right there, I didn't get all the way to the line. So I'm going to do that again. And then these 2 in the center, you want to cut those. So I'm going to do that on all of these and answer questions as they come in.
Let's see. Funny comment from Sue Sweeney. She had put dog ears ... duck pleats ...
Oh yeah, my duck pleats. Nobody makes sense. Nobody knows what that. I just made that word up.
Yeah. But yeah, other people in the chat were saying that they also thought it came from them looking like a dog's ears. Apparently, Aditya Sitar calls them bunny ears.
Oh.
Little bunny ears. And then we did have a super chat from Valeria Bauer for $9.99, and she says, I am sorry for being late. I'm glad you're still on. I wanted to thank each of you for all you do.
Thank you.
Aw, thanks, Valeria. And question from Linda Frederick. If you do the traditional method, would you make the blocks bigger and cut down to size?
No, I would just do them the normal way. I find you could do that, but I think it's so hard and I've never mastered it. So I just do them normal. But yeah, if you didn't do this method, I would do the Eleanor Burns method with her rulers. And then if not, then I would do just normal and hope they come out right. But I would not do the draw on a line, make them bigger and trim down, because I just haven't mastered that and don't like that, but you can try it. So yeah, if I didn't have this paper, I would do the Eleanor Burns rulers. And she has 2 rulers, one's large, one's small, and that's what I use. She also has this big Flying Geese ruler, but I've never tried that one. Creative Grids also has a big ruler also, but I haven't tried that one.
And Tamara Stewart Robertson says, will you have any additional kits available in the future? I think for Serendipity.
Yeah, each time I do these videos, I'm trying to add something that you can try at home. Now you see the paper just comes right off.
Oh, but once we run out of the kits we do have for this, for the quilt behind you, is that going to be it, or are we getting more?
No, we're not going to make more. The kits, we've been promoting them a year, and so we bought them months and months ago, so we just sell them one time, but we do have fabric requirements so that you can buy a different collection, or yeah, but once the kits are gone, the kits are gone.
Mm-hmm. And from Valeria Bauer, what is the size of the biggest ruler from Creative Grids for cutting borders?
It's that brand new one called the Big Easy.
Mm-hmm. Big Easy.
Do you know the size?
It's 12.5 by 24.5.
Okay. And then they also have an 8.5 by 24.5.
Yes.
And then obviously the 6.5 by 24.5.
Yes. Big Easy, not Big Daddy.
Yeah, I just think New Orleans now when I think of it.
Oh yeah, Big Easy.
So now at my house I have this bowl. It's about that big, and it's a real pretty bowl, and I usually just dump my scraps in there and then dump them in the trash later. And I've never found another one. So these are all perfect. They're all, you can see that if you put a ruler on it, they're 90 degrees here. Sometimes when you draw on the line and press, you're not going to get 90 degrees. You're going to get either a little bit in or a little bit out. So now that we have these done, I'm going to switch my foot to a 1/4 inch foot, and I'm going to show you how to follow the pattern on page 3. So what I thought would be best, can I show it on the wall?
Yeah.
So what I thought would be best would be to piece this one, which is all the way over here, and then this one, and then put those together so that I know I started at the beginning, and then at home I'll do the rest. So we're going to do these two right now. So that would be this, let me see. That would be this one right here. So I'm going to lay them out. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to do this one, which is down here. So I'm going to do 1, 2. And of course, it doesn't have to be exact if you don't want it to be exact. So from here, I'm going to stitch with a 1/4 inch seam. So I'm going to actually do these two together. And I am definitely going to pin.
And Marilyn G was asking, is there enough fabric in the kit to use the Eleanor Burns method? And thank you for all the videos.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the Eleanor Burns has no waste.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So anytime you're doing a kit, as long as you have a piece big enough to cut those squares, but this kit has plenty. So this kit, yes, as long as you don't have like a small piece of fabric and a kit, like I'm talking about just a different kit, you can do it and you would have enough because there's no waste. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll press and then add the last couple. So from here, I put my 1/4 inch foot on, and I'm going to stitch, and I'm going to show you one thing. Okay, when I stitched with the Flying Geese on top that does not show the seam. Some people stitch on this side so they can maneuver to hit that point. But I don't ever do that really. So luckily, most of the time I hit the point. I just feel like if I don't hit the point, I will unstitch, but I find like I have better luck with this side on top. But you can do whatever works for you. I know Pat Sloan does it where the other side is on top. So we'll see if I got these right. Perfect.
Yay.
So it says to press towards this way and away from the point. So I'm going to do that on these 4 and then we'll keep going. And you could do this with a big design board and just keep all your sections together as you go. I just don't have enough room today to do that, but that's what I would do at home, is keep them all on boards, and then that way I won't have to think. I would do all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all 7 at the same time. Today we're only doing 2, but at home I would. So that one looks like I nipped the point a little bit, but it's fine. It's close enough. Okay, let me move this without burning myself. So then I just figure out which one goes where. So green, yellow, gray, black. So I think that I've got that right. But again, this is scrappy, and you don't have to do it exactly like this. We just did it so that you wouldn't have to think.
Yeah.
So I'm going to actually stitch this one. Did you hear my stomach?
Oh, no.
No, my stomach just growled.
I wonder if the mic picked it up.
It was loud.
Oh, no.
Okay, so I'm going to stitch these 2. And then I'm going to do these. And then we'll add the top and the bottom, sew those together, and then you can keep doing this at home. Because it's the same technique. I mean, if I stayed here to do the whole block, it would take me hours. And at home, I could probably do what I have just done. For the, bless you. For the rest, I could get this done, the rest of this real quick at home, because I can go faster at home. And we also have this available as a free charity cross stitch, which we can show you real quick. And if you join me tomorrow on my cross stitch channel, I will show how I do row 2 of that piece. Thank you. So I've stitched this, and tomorrow I'm going to show you how to stitch this. So if you want to join me on a cross stitch, we'll be doing that tomorrow. Same time, different place.
Yes.
Because that's our cross stitch channel. So here I will leave this one kind of out of the way. Oh, I need to move to steam.
Ah, because we're not using paper anymore.
Yeah. I can't believe I missed that earlier. And you'll see when I iron, I don't rock my iron, because if you do that, everything will start distorting. And it's nice and flat. So I do always set my seam, which is like just laying your iron on it, on your fabric, sorry, and press. And it's pretty straight. It's much straighter than if I would have done it the traditional way. So here, we're going to start with our A's. And on some of them, on 4 of them, the A goes on the bottom. And 4 of them, the A goes on the top. And I'm going to show you how to make this work. Okay, so look right there. It's exact.
Wow.
That's exact, but this one's not.
Oh.
So the first thing I do is, again, I always pin the beginning and the end. I'm a big pinner. I'm a big believer in pinning. And then just kind of go like that. Pin, pin. And again, when I sew, I'm going to sew with this flat piece on the top. Most people sew this way so they can see their point. Now here you can't see the point because we've pressed that way. If we had pressed the other way, you could see the point, where if you wanted to, but pressing towards a point is going to make it distorted here. But either way, I always stitch with this on top. Unless I'm in a hurry, I just do whatever. Now this one, look how it's a little bit off right there. It's going to work because we're going to put that right side together. Pin on both sides. Okay, and then I stretch it, pin in the center, pin twice, and it'll be fine. So we're just gonna sew down these 2 lines, or whatever you call them, seams, lines.
Yeah.
And when I start here, I want to make sure, see how that goes? You don't want it right there. You really want this 90-degree angle right here to be right at that 90 degree. Oh, we can move to the 2.0 stitch length too. And we'll see. Yep, perfect. Sorry, perfect. And that did come up a little bit, so I'll trim that off. But you can see I just went straight down. I didn't do a scant 1/4 inch. I just went straight down, and I go just as fast at home. And it comes out fine. And I don't know, I have some kind of something there. Like chalk or something.
Yeah.
If you ever have something on your fabric, if your spit doesn't work, use Tide Pin.
Yeah.
Love the Tide Pin. Here it is. Tide to go. I love those pins. They're everywhere. They're so popular in my house. If I say, go get a Tide Pin, they know where it is. So here I'm going to set my seam again. Use steam once. and then just press right on that seam away. Do the same thing. Okay. So I'm going to join these. I'm going to go ahead and join these. So if you look, you put a B on the left, which is right here. This one here. And this one here. So you can see I'm following this. And you can see right here, this is not exactly straight. See how there's a tiny bit of blue coming off? I'm going to trim that off. You don't have to. It'll all work if you don't, but the OCD in me cuts it off. That's not really supposed to be there. See, that one's perfect. And that one's pretty good. Okay, so let me go back and put it together this way and this way. So it makes the flying geese travel and fly, I guess.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do here is just put this right sides together. Pin. And let me see if this is supposed to touch. So yes, right here, this little point of this flying geese right here should touch the top point of that. So I'm just going to kind of ease it to make sure it matches. You could also pin, and that's pin through the points. So there's that, and then I also need to add this, so I'm going to go ahead and put that on, pin that on. So again, two sides, tug it a little bit, put that pin in the center, and it'll all even out. And my point matched right there. So even though I'm sewing fast and not putting my seam on top, it's working. But you know, this is not perfect right there. It's fine. Just let it go. Nobody's gonna know. And I think it all just comes with experience, just the years and years of sewing. And let's see if this matches. It does. Somehow that worked. So I don't know, today I was really lucky. Today's my lucky day. It's my daughter's 14th birthday. Woohoo! I cannot even believe that I have a 14-year-old.
Oh.
My neighbor said, she's a teenager. I said, oh, she's been a teenager. She didn't just become a teenager.
That's funny.
And here, I'm just going to press to one side. I'm not even going to pay attention to the pattern on this one because I think it doesn't matter because you're going to have sashing between.
Oh, yeah.
So anytime you have sashing between, you can kind of pick your own. Pick your own, whatever you want to do. Okay, so here, that looks really good. Now you can see a little tiny sliver right here. I'm going to cut that off. That's called cheating. Okay, so now I'm going to go back here and show you. So, oh, can you move the camera? No. Okay, so it just goes right here. What we did goes right there. That's what we did. And like I said, there's sashing above and sashing below right there. And all of that sashing that you're going to see, let me show you on here. We've gotten a lot of questions and I'm definitely going to cover it. So you can see fabric requirements. They're free. Right here, there's sashing. So between row 1, row 2, row 3, there's sashing. And I'm going to show you how I cut that and how I make that work when you sew all that together. But that's going to be on our 8th release when I do that. Yeah, and our 6th release, we're just gonna redo this same video. We're not gonna do the same video again. We can either replay this one, or I don't know how we planned it, but this is the same exact technique, but you will see that when you do this row, your fabric is placed a little bit differently. So when you go here, you just follow, and the fabric is placed different, so that it's the same exact technique, it's just fabric is different. So now what I do from here, I grab all the stuff that I was messing with. Okay, so now I'm going to show you before I go home what I do, because one thing that I do think is important, and one rule that I do follow is at home, is when I finish a project, I clean it up. Because if you don't clean it up, I just feel like you go back and you're just like, oh, where's the mess? So I put everything back. I do this at home no matter what. If I'm going to dinner, clean it up. So this is all my fabric. I'm going to put my papers back in. I'm going to put them at the bottom though. Just don't let me forget they're there, Lily.
Will do.
And then I just put all my fabric that's left over. So it's all here. This is my little scraps. I just throw them in there. Put my book in here. This is Socialite's binder that we sell, but I'm just using the same one for this. And then here, this is where I'm keeping my blocks. So I'll go ahead and put this in here so that I know where to find it when I get home. Put this here. And then I'm going to put another design board on top of this. I'll probably do this where it's out. Another design board on top of this. Put a, I took them home, but they're little elastic that you can buy. And you just put it around, and then when I get home, everything will be working. I could even put this in this bag if I wanted to, but I don't want to shove it. So that's what I'll do, is I'll go home just like this. I put all this in the back of my car. I'll put an elastic band around this, and everything will be neat and tidy. If I didn't do that and just went home with all this stuff everywhere, I would be like, well, where's that, and what's this? And I might get my extra pieces mixed up with this. My C came off too.
Oh yeah, there's some stuck to the top one.
Ha ha ha, look at that. See how it sticks? Yeah, so yeah, that's what I'll do. And when I come Friday to the live stream, I will have this row done, and I'm going to show you the fabric that other people are using, and let's see how much money we've raised today.
All right. So let me just cut back to your camera. And we were at 55,605. Now we are at 56,059.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
So as a summary, tomorrow on our cross stitch channel, we're going to be doing row 2. That is fat quarter shot floss tube, 9 a.m. On Wednesday, I have my normal fat quarter shot floss tube on that other channel. So subscribe there. And on Friday on this channel, I will be back to show you all of the sew-alongs and do our other free block, which is Socialites. And I'm going to show you my finished Socialites quilt that I did with my 9-inch blocks, and I still have to figure out what I'm going to do with my 3-inch blocks before Friday. Woohoo! So are there any questions on any of this?
Yes, a few questions before we wrap up. From Kathy Krupa, how wide are the borders going to be? I'm not sure how much background fabric to leave untouched for the borders.
So what I did is I cut a 76.5-inch piece. Let me look to make sure, and I wrote it down. Okay, I left a 76 by length of fabric strip, unstarched, marked it so that I don't cut into this. Now, if I run out of other stuff, when I run out, I'm going to show you what to do. Okay. I'm going to show you then what to do, because I don't want to get too ahead. If I get too ahead on my borders and my sashing, I'm going to forget everything I did. So that's why I made it, well, the only reason it's unstarched is because once I starched this, I didn't have room. And then I just figured I'm just going to mark it unstarched, mark what I did, and I can come back to this. So when we get to where we run out of other fabric, I'm going to show you then what to do. And the only reason why is because this is a lengthy sew-along, and I can't remember what I did yesterday. So I would not remember, and then I would look like a fool. But that's also what I do at home is I leave little notes for myself because I can't remember. And it's because I'm sewing so many things. Like I did a whole quilt this weekend. I mean, I'm sewing stuff all the time that I can't remember that little details like that.
And from Wendy Art, thanks Fat Quarter Shop, I've learned so much. I have the Serendipity kit, but I think I want to make a table runner instead. Any ideas on block setting / placement?
Well, we have some extra free patterns that are released throughout this when we hit our milestones, and I know one of them is a table runner.
Yes.
So maybe Friday what Lily can do is put on the schedule to show the ones that we've already released that are free, and then incorporate those in these videos.
All right, yep, we can do that. And then before we wrap up, we had a new YouTube member that joined, Lynn St. Clair. Welcome, Lynn.
Thank you.
Every time I see the last name St. Clair, I think I was thinking Blair Waldorf for some reason. I don't know why that reminds me of that.
I have no idea who she's even talking about. If that's a movie or what.
It's from Gossip Girl, but it
okay.
just reminds me of it. Yes.
So thank you for spending your Monday with me and Lily. We really appreciate it. Please donate to Make-A-Wish, and I'll see you on the next tutorial, May 19th. Sorry, next tutorial, April 19th.
Bye, everyone.